So when thinking about my 8-minute, I was thinking that most of the people in this room don't actually know how I do what I do. I just say, yeah, I get jobs, I create jobs for people, and we're an awesome company. But the truth is, it takes a lot of steps, and there's a lot of sales aspects, there's a lot of networking, which is one of the reasons why I love this group, because I get to connect with so many of you. So I'm going to take the first part of my presentation to kind of explain how I get to placing individuals in jobs. And then I brought Kyle today because we're doing something pretty exciting. I was going to give him a little bit of time at the end of my presentation. So if you can't see this, I apologize, and I'm trying to use big markers. The first process is really the biggest sales pitch of all. And I have to pitch myself to the people I'm serving. They don't just place me. I'm not like, you have to work with this person. I have to go and tell them why I'm going to be the best person to help them find a job. So any of the supported job candidates we're looking at get to review me and in many, many number of different agencies. So this is the referral process. And I can't spell to save my life, so if I spell it wrong, I apologize. Ready? Good? Cool. So in the referral process, that's my sales pitch. I go in and I say, here's why I'm different. I believe that anyone has ability, and I believe that anyone is employable. Unfortunately for the people I serve, that's not the case for a lot of people that look at them. I have read through reports where their physicians have basically said, this person will never have a job, this person cannot work, this person has no value. And then I go and get them a job. So it's a cool thing. But it's a very difficult process because for most of them, their whole life they've been told they don't have the ability to do it. Why are they going to believe some crazy bearded guy coming in here saying, I believe you can have a job? So that's probably the hardest part of my whole process. The next step is a contract, just like you guys would do in any business. We sign a contract so that they understand what I'm being held accountable for. So if the contract is you have 2 years, and that's general state term contract, that's not unique to me or anything. You have 2 years to find this person gainful employment. That's a long time. 2-year process without employment, can you imagine being unemployed for 2 years? Anyone in this room would be like stir crazy. You know? So my goal is 3 months. And 3 months is pretty realistic, especially in this job market. Thank goodness, Portland is a great position for hiring right now. But that's kind of the way it sets up with that. After that, then the fun begins. So most of you who I've met one-on-one kind of see like I'm fun, a little bit crazy. I've done a lot of different things. And I like to bring that to my experiences. So my next step I get to do is create portfolios with people, which can be as social as it is informational. A great example, we're doing a portfolio for a young man right now, and one of his favorite things is archery. So my counterpart Ryan went and shot bows and arrows for like 4 hours. And he comes back to me and he goes, Troy, he's in a wheelchair. He has limited use of his arms, and he's more accurate than I am with a bow and arrow. And I go, that's what I'm talking about. That's what people don't get to see. It's the ability side of things. So after we create the portfolio, then I can start to get an idea of what a person is capable of. Whether we identify them for banking, or construction, or all the individuals we serve have abilities in some way or another. It's just not going to be your traditional ability where they have a degree. And not to say that they don't. We support several people who do have advanced college degrees. But it's not the same type of experience that you would look at in a normal job client. After the portfolio comes the job placement. Job placement is fun, but difficult, because this is the place where I face the most social ideal. And what I mean by that is people don't expect people with disabilities to be able to work. I'm going to point this out because it's an awesome fact. So I placed a young woman with the company Viva Events. They're a major player in the event system, and hopefully Tim is going to be working with them. The president of the company, the CEO, not only does she experience one disability, she experiences 2. Hearing loss, which she began to have at about 30 years old, and severely dyslexic. Yet, with these 2 disabilities, she manages this multi-million-dollar company. The trick is it a hidden disability or is it a visible disability? Because hidden disabilities, you can generally overcome with hard work and just not telling anyone you have a disability. The physical disabilities that are obvious to people, someone who experiences a wheelchair, or someone who's nonverbal, doesn't communicate well with speaking, those are huge barriers to overcome, and that is one of my biggest challenges as far as placing people into jobs. The next step is fun, because after job placement, I kind of just get to check in on them. So once someone is placed, it is my job to help create the position, generally by breaking it down into steps. We call this a job carve. A carve basically means we're using their abilities to create the position. So if it was, go ahead.
2 minutes.
2 minutes, got it. So with the job carve, I get to kind of see what their skills are. Lastly, for me, it's retention. Retention means a minimum of 90 days. My goal for retention is 2 years. And after that, that doesn't mean they lose their job, and I get to step back. And they keep their job and they own it. So I'm going to bring Kyle up. I left him about 1:30, and he's going to talk about other ways that you can help community vision with our processes.
Really quick question by show of hands. How many of you have kids? When they were growing up, you purchased clothes for them when they were 2 years old. How, it was about 3 months before you had to purchase more clothes for them because they grew out of those, correct? So it's the same thing that a lot of our members have to deal with when they have a disability and they have a wheelchair. But instead of clothes, it's a wheelchair, a power chair. How much do you think, by just random guesses, do you think a brand new power chair costs?
10,000.
30,000.
More.
25,000.
About 25,000 to 30,000. It's about the cost of a brand new Subaru Forester, if you can just think about that. One of the things that we are doing at Community Vision is we're building this brand new facility. How many of you know where Ladd's Addition is? A lot of you. If you haven't, look at a map of Portland. It's a grid pattern, and then there's this weird X-shaped neighborhood. That's Ladd's Addition. We're going to be at the corner of Ladd's Addition, at the corner of 19th and Division, where we are building, Community Vision is building a 4-story building that's going to house 5 nonprofits, all relating to disability services. But in the base floor of our building is going to be the assistive technology lab, where people that need a new wheelchair will actually get to come and try out things. Or if they need an app because they're nonverbal, they get to try out these. It's kind of putting the best of 2 worlds together of Apple and OMSI. You get to come try out the new technologies. We're not going to be selling them, but we will point them in the direction where they can try these things out, or they can buy these things. How many of you know someone with a disability? Most people do know someone with a disability, and like Troy said, some of them are hidden, some are not so hidden. But everyone can benefit from this, and actually the Pacific Northwest does not have an assistive technology lab like this. We are bringing in 2 individuals that kind of ran a somewhat of an assistive technology lab.